All right, Miles, let's talk Texas A&M football here a little bit. Obviously, spring ball is in full swing. We're seeing Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino do their thing, trying to fix this offense. And we have a report out of Aggie land that shows that there may be a good development coming out of spring ball about a key position, about a guy taking that next step that will be huge for Texas A&M going forward.
Yeah, Nick, and when you talk offense, you got to talk quarterback position because that's the most important position on the field, especially in college football. It's what drives the engine, Nick, and that's why I want to ask the Aggies fans in the comments below, who's your favorite Aggies quarterback of all time? Could be anybody. Let us know in the comment below who your favorite quarterback of all time was and maybe a little bit as to why they were your favorite. But Nick, what do you have on the Aggies? What's going on down there?
So obviously, you bring Bobby Petrino into the fold. The whole point is to develop the quarterback and get that position resolved, get it solidified. Because last year it was kind of revolving door, a lot of issues there. It seemed like they may have found the guy, and it looks like through spring ball, a lot of the Texas A&M players currently agree with that. And none other than veteran defensive back guy I really like. Damani Richardson had some very interesting comments to say about none other than Connor Weigman. This is according to Fan Nation. If you want to pull up the report, Mize, quote, the Aggies have struggled at the quarterback position in recent years since the departure of Kellen Mond to the NFL in 2021. But Richardson seems excited about the current option in Connor Weigman and likes him to an Aggies legend. Richardson said, I feel like Connor has finesse to him, a little bit of swag to him. I didn't play with Johnny Manziel, but he reminds me of a Johnny Manziel type. He has swagger to him, and they both talk trash. Cool to be off the field with. All right, Miles, that's obviously very high praise coming from Richardson, who I really respect. I think he's one of the more harder working, more tough guys. Obviously, he's a veteran defensive back at Texas A&M. So here's a guy who plays opposite of Weigman, has to face him, whether it's 7-on-7, 1-on-1 drills where it's receiver versus DB and the quarterback's throwing the ball, and of course, team activities all spring ball, all long. And in fact, you go back to last season in practice as well. The fact that he's come out and said this about Weigman to me says really two things. One, Weigman is starting to live up to his 5-star potential coming out of high school that a lot of people could be. And two, this is a little bit of the Bobby Petrino effect. I feel like he has the ability, talking about Petrino, to elevate quarterbacks. Put them in situations to do unbelievable things. Most famously, he did that with Lamar Jackson. We saw what Jackson did at Louisville and is now on to the NFL doing his thing there as well. Petrino has always had a knack to putting quarterbacks in positions to do what they do best and make them look good doing it. And I think that's what we're seeing from Richardson here. So far through spring ball, so far through the offseason, Weigman has looked like an elite level quarterback with Petrino running the show. And I think, to me, in my opinion, that's the bigger story. I think Weigman is obviously getting better going into his freshman and sophomore year, but what Petrino has done to make him look better, I think, is arguably just as important. Miles, give me your thoughts on the story, Weigman, and everything with Texas A&M right now.
Yeah, Nick, I think it's really interesting what's going on down in Texas A&M. As you alluded to, they had so much turnover at the quarterback position last year. They really couldn't get much going. But now Petrino's in the fold. Now a guy like Weigman, a former 5-star recruit. I say former, but you're still a 5-star recruit now that you're in college. We can say he's a 5-star recruit, Nick. But This guy's a top 25 player in the country coming out of high school. He has the requisite size, weight, 6'2", 208 pounds. Prototypical big-time quarterback talent here, and I think he can live up to his potential. And I really like what Richardson said, the comp to Johnny Manziel type player. Johnny Manziel always kind of played with a chip on his shoulder. He's scrambling around back there, making plays. You remember the play where he throws off like a 300-pound defensive lineman off his back and throws a touchdown, Mike Evans. That happened probably like once a game, more or less. But Weigman, even if he has a shred of what Johnny Manziel had in college on the field out there, this is going to be good because I think coming into this Aggies offense, you have to have that chip on your shoulder this season. There is really nothing to lose. You can only go from last year at the quarterback play position at least. And, Bobby Petrino's coming in. You have everything on your side to be successful. So if Weigman can seize the moment, which it seems like he is, because who would know better that he's doing well in practice than his own cornerbacks, who you said have to play against him every single day. I think like the sky's the limit for a true top-end talent coming out of high school like Connor Weigman.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. You look at a lot of people who may see him like, Johnny Manziel type and swagger and things like that. Like, is he a cocky? Is he arrogant? He hasn't done anything yet in college football, or at least not anything level of Manziel. Like, is he going to be a character head case? I don't really think so, Miles, because in order to compete and win games in the absolutely brutal, and I mean brutal SEC West, You've got to have swagger. You got to have confidence, because otherwise you're just going to get overwhelmed by the LSUs, by the Alabamas, by the Auburns, by the Arkansas. It's just the way it is. So having swagger, in my opinion, is just a prerequisite to being quarterback in the brutal SEC West. You need to have it in order to get it done. And I think that Weigman has it, on top of what Petrino is doing around him to make him look better, to help him take that next step, will be huge for the Aggies going forward in 2023. And I'm excited what this kid looks like.